Hey friends! Today we're making something really cool with the new Slim Sayings stamp set and matching dies. Little bundle that we've got going here. And this is the card that we're going to put together. As you can see, it is a slimline card, a different shape. And I'd love to show you how easy this is to do. So stick with me and let's make it together. So today's card is this, what is known as a slimline card. It's very cool, and the cool thing is that they've actually made envelopes for us to pop it in as well. So let's have a look at the suite. Here we go. It's in our new mini catalogue. That's this one here, and it's on page 52, and it's called the Slim Sayings Bundle. Okay, so it consists of a stamp set with some really big images. I love that you've got this great big enjoy. This one says you really are fabulous, which is the one we're using today. You're one of a kind, and there's a nice happy birthday. It's just a really good all-round set. One thing I do love about this set is that the reason I really got it in the first place was it lends itself really well to scrapbooking, because you can put a couple of these really big images onto a scrapbook page and they look terrific. Same goes for the dies that match. So this is the dies down the bottom. Now, this is a higher priced value set. So I thought long and hard about getting this. I thought, for the price, because the dies by themselves are $103 here in Australia, okay? You'll find if you're elsewhere that they'll be a different price depending on your market, but here that's what they cost, $103. And the whole bundle with the stamps as well is $127.75, okay? So that is definitely a higher price point than most of our bundles, most of our items. So why would I bother with this? It is fabulous for scrapbooking, absolutely fantastic. And you can do some really cool things with it, which is what we're going to do today. So they're the bits and pieces. The third thing, it's not part of the bundle, but there is also some lovely envelopes that they've given us to create these so they specifically fit this size. So that makes your dies even more useful, okay? And you can see there's a couple of different colors. There's white envelopes, and they've all got like a little design on the inside which looks really pretty, okay? So these fit those Slim Sayings dies beautifully, and I'll show you how they work today. All right, let's pop these out of the way. There is one more thing I'm going to use today, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but I'm also going to talk about our adhesive sheets, because these are going to help you when you're using this set as well. Even though you don't have to have it, it's certainly a nice thing to have. All right, let's pop this out of the way and let's have a quick look at our pieces. So you don't actually need very many pieces to put this card together. I'm calling this a flap card, so a slimline flap card, and you can see that this little piece sort of just goes out, and then inside we've got the area that we would write on. Okay, so this little flap here goes underneath our saying, and that holds it in place. All right, rather cool. So we're going to start out with the base. Okay, the base for this piece, I'm using, in Australia, we use A4 cardstock. Now, you will obviously do it slightly different depending on whereabouts you are. If you're in the US, you use letter size cardstock, and that's a bit different. My card today, this one, is actually, if I measure this across, the full width of my cardstock across. Okay, and then I've scored it here and here. So A4 cardstock is 21 centimeters across, and if you're wondering how that goes in inches, let me just tell you. So 21 centimeters exactly, which is 8 1/4 inches wide. Okay, so that is the width of paper. And then to make sure that it's going to fit my dies, and I'm going to use this small mosaic design today, I want it to be slightly longer than my piece here. So it turned out to be 21 1/2 centimeters long. So I'm just chopping off this piece off the bottom. So it's 21 centimeters across, which is the width of the cardstock, and 21 1/2 long, slightly longer. Okay, so just make sure you keep a track of which is which. All right, and let's go ahead right away and score this. So we're going to score it at the 3 1/2 inch mark, which, if you're wondering, is just shy of 9 centimeters. So I'm scoring it at 3 1/2. Whoops. Make sure you get rid of your cutting blade when you do this, so you don't accidentally cut by mistake. I've done that before. So 3 1/2. and then 7.5. So we're switching to inches, but if you wanted to go with 9 centimeters and 18, is that right? Yes, that's correct. So it's just double so that you have a score line here and a score line here and a little bit left over, okay? So what we'll do is fold here. I'm going to use my bone folder to flatten it down. That's pretty important. You want this card to sit nice and flat. And then going from the other side, it folds over on itself. So you can see it kind of folds in this way and then folds in this way. The flap just folds over a little. All right, so make sure you flatten that down really well with your bone folder. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the flap edge because it's easier to do before we construct the rest of the card. And I have 2 different flaps that all work well. So you can see on this card, I've used this one here, okay? On this card here, I used a different shape. So which one will I do today? This one, I think. All right, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be lining this up so it covers the edges of my die. It goes almost exactly at this 21.5 centimeter length. Then it's almost exactly the right size for the die. And what I'm going to do is run this through my die cutting machine and I'll be right back. So let's have a little look at this. When I take this off, you can see I put this quite close to the edge, so it's very, very small amount of cardstock here. That's where it's at its thinnest. We'll just discard that piece and you'll be able to see that it does leave a slight line here. That doesn't particularly worry me. If you put it through like I've done in this case, I find it easy to use that line to make sure it's straight, okay? And you have to put this in with this folded over, otherwise it wouldn't fit through your machine. So you're going to leave this fold in place and then this piece goes like this. This is the flap that is going to go over like this, okay? All right, so let's decorate the card. So basically that's it. That's how easy it is. I have cut a piece here. Now I've cut it so that it's exactly the right size for my card front, and you can see I've used the same color here. This is actually a piece of paper from the Friendly Hello Celebration bundle, which is a really nice little bundle, to be honest. I really, really like this one. When you're looking for a paper to put underneath these, you want to pick a design that is small, otherwise it will be overwhelming with the other part of the design. So just either a solid color or just pick a paper that has got a really tiny design. On the other one that I did, this one earlier, I used, this is from the Symbols of Fortune DSP, which is really nice. And this one is from the Friendly Hello. You can also use, like I said, plain cardstock. You can use an ombre look. You can do a whole range of things. Really, it's up to you. Now, I want this piece of paper to fit inside, so it actually is a tiny bit long. Because it's 21.5 centimeters long, I want this to be about 21 because I want it to be slightly shorter. So this is 21 and it is just shy of 9 centimeters or 3.5 inches. Okay, and that piece is going to end up right here on top. You can either put it together now or you can wait until you've got your die cut piece. Okay, now for the die cut piece, I cut a piece of A4 cardstock in half vertically so that this is going to fit exactly on here, no problems at all. And you can just cut it and then lay it over the top, which is what I did in this case. I put a little bit of multi-purpose glue behind each one of these little larger areas here and then stuck the whole thing on. Okay, I also add a little bit around the corners. You can see it's not completely stuck down, but I did add a little bit around the corners. Now here's another idea. This is a really fantastic product that we have, and that is our adhesive sheets. Okay, I don't know if you've seen these. These are in the catalogue and in the annual catalogue. Been around for years. When you have a look at this, on the back, you'll see that there are like cuts in the backing piece. So it makes it easy to peel this piece off, because what you're going to do is you're going to peel this off, then you're going to stick it straight down onto your white piece, and then you're going to run the whole thing through the machine. Now I've already done that just to save some time. So I have already put my adhesive sheets onto this. I've run it through the machine, and as you can see, the pieces have all come out. They actually fall out quite easily. Look at that. So let's just, there's a few more pieces there to push out. Now, to get the backing off this, you need something sharp. So for example, your take your pick tool is perfect for this. And I'm going to use my pointy end, the paper piercing tool, and I'm going to just slide that in so that it releases from the back, and then just peel that whole piece off. Now, you should be able to see the whole thing is sticky, okay? And that's the advantage of using adhesive sheets for something fine like this. Any fine dies do really, really well with the adhesive sheets in place. So let's pop our piece down here. I'm going to line it up at the bottom, and then just kind of lay it. We may need to just kind of fix it up at the end if it's not quite where we want it. Just like that. And the whole thing is stuck down. Isn't that cool? So you don't have to worry about little bits, you know, lifting or any of that, because it's stuck well and truly in place. This is now ready to go onto here, like so. So let's go ahead and use some, you can use whatever glue floats your boat to do this. So it could be seal adhesive or multi-purpose adhesive like I'm using right now, or even tape. If you like double-sided tape, that could be your thing. And let's pop this on so it fits right here on this panel. Okay, so it's coming together now. You've got this piece, little flap here that's going to come over. Okay, now I also, while I'm here, I want to have a piece inside that is the right size to write on. So it's 21 centimeters long and 8.5 wide. Okay, if you're doing it in inches, it's approximately, well, it's going to change because of the size of your cardstock, but it is going to fit right inside this section here with a little bit of a border all the way around. So I'm going to give this a little bit of decoration because it looks nice, and I'll show you my original card. When I open this one, you can see I've got some little pieces down here. And remember, we had all those pieces that fell out before? Okay, we have some of those. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Fresh Freesia ink, because this is the right colour. Open that up. And I have a blending brush here. And I'm just going to use, it doesn't matter what you use, I'm just going to, you can use a fingernail or anything you like. I'm just going to sort of hold that down and give this a little bit of colour here on the bottom. Do that again. And one more time. Now, just slide my piercing tool in underneath, because of course these are already sticky. If you wanted to, you could also add a dimensional behind them if you wanted a bit of dimensional. I'm not worried about that because I would like my card to sit flat, so I'm just going to put them on flat, and they're already sticky, but you could stick dimensionals behind if you would like. And one last one. So this is obviously an optional step. You don't have to decorate the inside of your card, but I do like to do that if I can. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over and I'm going to cut off the excess. I butt my scissors up against that piece of cardstock and use it to give me a straight line. You could also use your trimmer if you prefer. All right. I noticed I've got a little mark there, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue again, whatever glue you choose, and we're going to pop this inside our card. So we're just going to pop it inside so that it's giving us a nice little... All right, so we're almost done, but what we do need to do is I've got a piece of paper here left over from when I cut off those white pieces before, and I'm going to stamp the You Really Are Fabulous. It's this one here down the bottom there, and it fits really nicely on the everyday label punch, which is one of my most favorite punches because it just always, it's so useful. All right, so you can see I've used this one. I'm going to use You Really Are Fabulous and my punch. Line that up so it's straight. If you want to, you could zip around the outside here with a blending brush or a dauber. I find the blending brushes are a little bit soft for going around the edges of something, but that's okay. It doesn't look, it looks nice anyway. Right, then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And I'm going to put, I need to make sure I've got plenty of dimensionals because I want this to be quite strong. It's the closure. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here on one end, nothing on the other end. So the end that you're putting it onto is towards the center of your card. So if you've got your flap on the other side, then you would have them on the other side. But it totally depends on which way you're going to put your card. And then I hold it in place with the flap down, and I put this over, and that's now going to hold my flap closed. Okay, so the flap just zips up like that. Right, as a final finishing touch, I added some ribbon. You could, this is the open weave ribbon, which is in the Fresh Freesia, which of course is the perfect match. You could, if you wanted to, also add some diamantes or some bling of some kind. Any of the above would look good. But these are very, very simple little cards. Once you get your measurements sorted out, you will find that they're very simple to do and they're a bit of a wow. And of course, the final thing we need to do is to pop it in an envelope. So let me grab that there. I'm going to, oops, I'm going to grab my scissors and just chop that off at a length that I like better. And then we have some beautiful iridescent rhinestones that I think would look beautiful on those. You can see I used a couple of these on my original card here. They're really lovely. I hope you enjoyed that today. I think it's a really fun little project. It's not difficult, but it's something different, and it uses a set that is brand new and something we haven't had really like this before. So Slim Sayings and the Slim Sayings dies, and of course with the matching envelopes, which I said I was going to show you, and I didn't really. So I could pop this in either the grey envelope, which would look quite nice. Grey and this works quite well together, or the white. Maybe we'll use the white today. And this just slides in here. It's the perfect fit. And it's ready to go. I hope you enjoyed that with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye.